Hi there, this is Chris from MoneyHub. This video is going to go through the very helpful Morningstar KiwiSaver reports, which come out every quarter. Now, to most people, they do look quite complicated, but they're not. And I'm going to walk through the last one, which we can access, which is from March of this year, of 2021, and decipher what it actually means and where your funds are and what we can learn from it. So you can see that they come out every 3 months, normally on the last day or about the 28th to 29th of the following day of the month. So for March, we'd expect that to come out in the 29th of April. And for June, right now it's the end of July, it still hasn't come out, but we're expecting that to come out within the next couple of days. So Morningstar does this for free. For us, we don't, well, not for us, anybody can use it, but we like to use their data because it's very reliable. It's submitted from the fund managers themselves. So we have a completeness with regards to every KiwiSaver return. Now, helpfully, if we click on this, now you can access this link from below in the video description. Let's just click on the March quarter, and it's got some good commentaries here, and says that total KiwiSaver money is around 79 New Zealand billion, which is huge. And as you could expect, if markets keep moving forward and people keep contributing, then we'll see that go up and up. But what we really do care about is looking at the individual fund returns, because that's where your money will be. They do a market commentary, largely around the US and also New Zealand, saying different shares are down, different shares are up. So A2 Milk, of course, that's been in the news a lot in 2021. That's down, and they just do a general sort of comment there. So quite useful to read through, but nothing major for your long-term growth objectives. Then we can see little commentary around which funds have done the best. Which managers have done the best. So we see Pathfinder here, and we see Milford, their moderate fund. So there's a whole bunch of kind of comments there, but let's go straight into the detail. First step is looking at the different fund types. So Morningstar buckets them all into conservative, and then you've got moderate, and then you've got balanced, and then you've got growth, and then you've got aggressive. That's how KiwiSaver is structured. These are all the funds that people have the choice of from the standard market. So let's go into growth funds, because that's probably the most relevant to most people using MoneyHub, or just generally looking for a KiwiSaver fund if they are young and want a long-term result. You don't have to necessarily be that young to be in a growth fund, but that's where a lot of the money is within KiwiSaver. So let's just go into this. What we see here is a whole bunch of numbers. It does look a bit overwhelming, but they bucket the returns from 3 months to 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, and 10 year. So then these are the percentage returns, and then you've got this rank for who did the best compared to everybody else. So for example, if we look for a number one, that's Milford. That's the Aon Milford Fund, which is actually a fund based off the Milford Active Growth. So that's place number 2. Then number 3 for this 3 months period, we've got Juno Growth. Number 4 being Superlife Growth, and number 5 being the ANZ Default Growth. So that's, and then you can go all the way down to probably number 31 and number 30. You can see how negative returns meant that, that fund ranked last. But probably what's more interesting is looking at the 3-year returns, the 5-year returns, and the 10-year returns. So then we can see, Fisher funds, for example, or Fisher Growth fund had the highest 3-year return, whereas the highest 5-year return looks like it belongs to Milford Active Growth, and that also has the highest 10-year return. So these are very good. I don't think anybody makes a KiwiSaver decision based on 3 months of data. So that's why the 10-year returns are very, very helpful. Morningstar also doesn't publish funds that have been less, I believe, than 2 years and are running. So that's why if it's a new scheme, you may not see the fund on there, or if it's a new product, if it's a new fund. So if we go into the aggressive, because there's less of those, so it's a little bit easier to decipher, we can see, for example, one fund has had, number one returns, and that's the booster geared growth fund. But then in the last quarter, it was the Super Life High Growth Fund, which made more money than the booster one relative to, well, in the percentage terms. But really, it's just an interesting insight into seeing this. There's a lot of data here, and it's just nice to see it all in one place. They also give the fees. This is the annual membership fees, and this is the annual funds management fee. What this won't always separate is performance fees, which certain companies charge. Milford being one. So if the fund performs like over its benchmark or over its a certain cutoff, a certain level, then a fund manager will charge you money for that performance fee, just as an incentive for them to always make you great returns. So this is not so clear on Morningstar, but you can always read that in the fund manager prospectus for any KiwiSaver, or on MoneyHub. We also are very clear which funds and which schemes charge performance fees and which ones don't. So that's pretty much the bulk of the fund, the KiwiSaver report. It is very useful. We also have another video which you'll see down below, which is looking at their tool where you can sort a whole bunch of funds, managed funds, and KiwiSaver. So I'd strongly suggest looking at that video. And you can see a whole bunch of different sort of numbers here, and which sector funds do this and everything like that. So there's a lot to look at if you are in doubt. So if you were looking for your KiwiSaver thing, say I was with Westpac, which I'm not, but if I was, then I would look at, say, a Westpac growth. I'd just type it into the search button. There it is, and I could see, right, where did that come in the last 1 year? It was the 11th. Where's that? The 10-year, number 8. So I could get an idea. Right, okay, my returns were 9.6% average, whereas with Milford Active Growth they were 13.4. So this is something I could use, quite transparent, to consider if I was going to leave one provider for another. This is certainly not any financial advice. We're just looking at the numbers. But yeah, it's just helpful if sometimes you just type in, you do a Control F or an Apple F, and just look for what you want to know, or basically what your fund's doing now. So thanks very much. I know that is quite a long video, but I do believe that this report, it's very rich in data, and it's very easy to use once you get past all this explosion of numbers. So thanks very much for watching, and let me know if you have any questions below. Thank you.